take a look at how to download exchange rates and find out sort of a monthly average for exchange rates that we download. This is an exercise that I'm going to give you the full week to complete. I don't expect it to take more than maybe an hour or two. For some of you, it might take even shorter. And this is a very sort of basic exercise that you might be asked to do as an intern or staff accountant in a CPA firm. So on the screen in front of us, I have your Chapter 9 Blackboard folder. And I want to call your attention to the Board of Federal Reserve's exchange rates. This is a third-party site outside of Blackboard. I mean, it's a public website, and it deals with exchange rates. So the exchange rates that you all have been dealing with in Chapter 9, we're going to actually download them in real life as part of this exercise. Now, I'm going to give you a bit of a tutorial on how to do it really quickly here, but then part of this exercise is you sort of fumbling through this, and I say fumble intentionally. I do expect you to kind of maybe, have to take some time to get used to it, and maybe you might even have to reach out to me with questions if anything is unclear. I'm going to click on Data Download, and I know this because I'm familiar with this site. I'm going to click on Data Download, and then what I'm looking to do here is download exchange rates. So that this Build Your Package links over here on the left is where you can go. You can click Build Package. And here's where you're going to need to come in and choose the currency that I've assigned to you. So let's imagine that I took the Japanese yen. Okay, I'm going to choose that as my currency. You can choose multiple currencies, by the way, if you chose to. I'm going to only do Japanese yen for now, just to make this simpler. And I'm going to do continue. Okay. Then I want to choose the frequency. Now, very important, you should be choosing the business day. That's what I want you to be choosing, the business day. You will be submitting your file through Blackboard. So as I go through these steps, make sure that you're doing the correct steps so that what you submit is accurate. Okay, I'm going to click Add to Package. So what I've basically done is I've told this public website that I want to download Japanese spot exchange rates, meaning the exchange rates on a daily basis. And I'm going to just, they're confirming that that's what I've asked for. Now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to format the package. And here's where I'm going to choose the dates, the actual dates, the date range, I should say. You're given the choice to either choose the last 5 days, the last 7 days, the last 10 days. What I'm going to ask you guys to do is actually select date range. Now I've given you each date ranges of a particular month in a particular year. Let's say that what I need to figure out is year 2000 and January. Okay, so January 1 through January 31st of year 2000. Take your time with this website. It kind of refreshes every single time you click on a box. There we go. Okay, so now I've got my exchange rates. Then I want to choose file type. Now you can choose CSV, you can also choose Excel, you can choose XML, although I recommend either CSV or Excel. If you only have Google Sheets, select CSV and then upload that CSV file to Google Sheets, and then you can open it and use it within Google Sheets. I'm going to do Excel for now, and I'm going to click. And it's going to give me a final confirmation page, and I'm going to click. And by the way, take your time and sort of pause the video if you'd like and take a look on your end. Like, you should be taking your time with this. I'm doing this rather quickly because I've done this before. I'm going to click download file. Now the file will download. Okay, so I've got the file up on the screen. I've opened it in Google Sheets. You might have it open in Excel on your end. Either way, it's fine, as long as you can see a spreadsheet similar to what we're seeing here. I've highlighted some of these cells in yellow. I did that kind of before the video started, simply to help me help you guys really anchor around where I'm going to be talking about. So any new spreadsheet, it's critical to understand, to kind of open it up, and before you start typing, before you start trying to compute anything, just understand what you're looking at. What is this data saying? I've got key, what are called column information or field information in column A, okay? You notice I've got something called a download page. That looks like it's a hyperlink of some sort. But then I've got series description, unit, multiplier, currency, unique identifier. And then, oh, look at this. Then I've got some dates, right? And it's formatted year, then month, then day, okay? And this correlates to the year, month, date criteria that I used on the website at the Federal Reserve. And then of course in column B, I've got the actual information, the actual data. So the series description, well, this is a Japanese spot exchange rate, yen/US dollar. So yen to US dollar. Then I have the currency, it's per US dollar. So we'll talk more about that in a second. The multiplier is 1. The actual currency is JPY. We're gonna learn, or you might have already seen this, that every currency is gonna have a 3-character abbreviation. USD, for instance, is US dollar. JPY is Japanese yen. Then I'm given a unique identifier. This has meaning to the Federal Reserve. It frankly does not have much meaning to us unless we want to use it for anything in the work that we're doing, which may be something in an actual real world task, but for now it doesn't matter to us. Okay, so we've already gone through all this. This, by the way, will be called metadata. It is data that describes the data. Okay, now the actual data that we're concerned with is the dates and the actual numbers. Okay, now let's take a look at 2000-01-03s. That's January 3rd of 2000. Now, what I have here is 101.7. Now, I had another video where I explained indirect versus direct rates, kind of explained the computation. What is really critical here is less to label this as a direct or indirect rate and more to understand what the data is saying. And here's what I mean by that. Is this saying that I have 101 yen for $1 US, or is it saying that I have 101 US dollars for 1 yen? That's what you need to be able to kind of understand when you look at a file like this. So let's look at how we would figure that out. We would want to come up here and look at the way the column is being, or the data is being described. And we're told it's a Japanese spot exchange rate, yen to US dollar. So I can interpret that as 101 yen for $1 US. If you were to work in a practice that used exchange rates like this, you would become familiar with this data rather quickly, meaning within a few weeks, you'd look at this file and you'd be able to see, okay, Japanese exchange rates, and you'd see the 101 number and you'd immediately be able to know, okay, that's yen to US dollar. Okay, for now, for this exercise, you're doing it for the first time, so let's just describe what exactly I want you guys to do. And it's this: I want you to take the month for the year, for the currency, that I gave you, and tell me the average exchange rate. So as an example, I chose here January of 2000, and I have 30, really more like 28 days or 28 data points, and I want to get the average here. 2 ways I can do that. Number 1, I can highlight all the cells, and then I can come down here and Excel, this is Google Sheets, but Excel has a similar kind of function where you can come down and kind of choose a very quick metric that you can pull from the data based on what's highlighted. I'm going to choose average, and I see 105.296. That's what I want you to input into your Blackboard shell. This 105 is specific to the Japanese yen for January of 2000. Now, another way you can do this is you can do a quick formula. I'm going to come up here and just use this blank blue cell, and I'm going to say equals average, open parentheses, and I'm going to highlight all of these cells, close parentheses, and I get the same number, 105.296. Right there, it's the same number that I see when I highlight the cells, and same number I get down here on the lower right. Okay, so take your currency, go through the download process, open it up into a spreadsheet, and go through this process of analyzing your data and getting the right average. I wouldn't expect this to take longer than an hour or 2. Some of you might be even quicker. If it does take you longer than that, if you find you're really spinning your wheels or this is very difficult, please reach out to me, okay? This is definitely an exercise that if you haven't used Excel or Google Sheets, it will be more difficult. So part of my challenge here is just getting you guys into the software package of the spreadsheets and having you kind of use some of these skills in a real world context, which this exercise kind of invites you to do. Thank you. Keep in touch with questions. Thanks.